All right, seems like we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vishnupriya from the ATL Tinkering Labs team. Welcome to yet another YouTube live session on ATL Marathon 2022-23. Every week, we bring to you expert sessions on strategy and technology to help you participate in the ATL Marathon. However, today's session is going to be very different. There will be learning, but not of tools or technologies, but of experiences. In a first of kind of a session, we are here to interact with an ATL alumni team who have their very own startup named Tech Excel and whose innovation, SoftWater, which I am pretty sure most of you must have already heard about it because we keep mentioning it almost everywhere as a big ATL success story. And so SoftWater was the winner of the IBM Call for Code Global Challenge and was awarded 200,000 US dollars in funding. Today, we are here to meet the entire team of Tech Excel slash SoftWater, and we are going to go down the memory lane and learn about their ATL experiences, their ATL marathon experiences, their startup experience, and really get to know about their journey and hear their advice for everyone who's joined us today, for the students, the teachers, the mentors, and the parents. So I'll quickly just introduce everyone and then I'll hand it over to the team to briefly speak about themselves. So we have Manikanta Chavakula, who's from Hyderabad, Telangana. So Manikanta, probably you can just say hi so that everyone can recognize you. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Manikanta, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And we have Satyam. Satyam is from New Delhi.
Namaskar. My name is Satyam.
And we have Sanket Marathe, who's from Goa.
I am Sanket Marathi.
And we have Rishikesh Bhandari again from Goa.
Yeah, hi all. I'm Rishikesh. Happy to meet you all.
We have Jay Harkar from Pune.
Hello everyone, very nice to meet everyone.
And finally, we have Mr. Chintamani Shirodkar, who's the mentor, the ATL in charge, and he's from Goa as well. So welcome to the session, everyone. So I would request, let's go through a round of introduction. So while I did call out the names, probably in the same order, if you can speak briefly about the school that you were from and what you are currently pursuing. Is it engineering or some other course? And just a brief minute or two long introductions. Over to Manikanta first.
yes. So I'm like an odd one out over here. I come from a commerce background, and I am currently doing my BBA in Flame University. And here I'm doing business analytics as well as design, so that I could work on more ideas in the coming years. And I'm a student from Delhi Public School, Nacharam, of Hyderabad, and I'm from Team Farm Tech.
Okay, thank you, Mani. Thank you so much, Atal Innovation Mission, first of all, for inviting us uh, in this YouTube live session. We are thankful for the opportunity. My name is Satyam, and I'm from New Delhi. I have done my schooling from Maharaja Agrasen Model School in Pitampura, New Delhi. I passed out in 2019, and currently I'm a student of data science, Indian technology and question.
So yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sanket Marathi. I'm from Goa, as you might have known. So me and myself and Rishikesh, we did our schooling at Dr. K.B. Edgewar High School in Goa. And now I'm currently pursuing my engineering. So I'm currently doing, in my fourth year, I'm doing computer engineering.
Yeah. I'm Rishikesh Bandari, as mentioned earlier. Um, Thank you, first of all, Team AIM, for having us here and doing this live session. As Sanket said, I also belong from the same school, Dr. KB Edgewar High School, that is situated in Goa. We participated to the ATL Marathon from there. Currently, I'm studying majors in data science at IIT Madras and also doing BS from University of Paris remotely in majors specifically for human interface design and minors industrial design.
Hello everyone. First of all, very nice to meet everyone. So I am Jay Aherkar from Pune. Fun fact about me, I am the youngest member of the team. So I did my schooling from Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya in Pune, and then I am currently pursuing data science from IITM. And yeah, that's about me. So I'll hand it over to Chintamani sir now.
So you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Hello. Sorry. I said very good evening, everybody, and thanks to AM Niti Aayog for giving the entire team this opportunity. We are all part of the ATL ecosystem. I am associated as the ATL in charge with Dr. KB Hedgewar High School. Hello.
Yes, sir.
KB, yeah, KB Hedgewar High School, Goa, and I think. And all the Rishikesh, Sanket are the ATL alumni from Hedgewan High School, and all the five team members have met together, and we are together in a startup called TechXL India Private Limited, just because the ATL ecosystem and the ATL marathon. We will talk about it later. And now I hand over to the next person to start their presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you everyone for briefly introducing yourself. And while we can see that, all of you are from different parts of the country, and we'll learn more about how you guys got together and really created this startup and went on to beat lakhs of other participants and, win the global challenge. But before that, let's take a step back and let's talk about your experience in the ATL. I mean, you must be in the initial batches of ATL, right? Back in 2017, 18, where the program was fairly new and the concept of tinkering was not that prevalent in the country. So let's talk about your ATL experiences first. So I would like to invite Manikanta, to share the experiences. And in case anyone else wants to add, please feel free to do so after Manikanta shares his experience.
Yes.
Manikanta.
So the ATL experience for me is of it's something which has provided me an opportunity. So before this, I'm into Arduinos and all, but I'm not like completely knowledgeable about it. And it's also very hard for me to find someone with that similar interest. But once ATL is there, what has happened is that we got to engage a lot with like-minded people. My friends, I made a lot of friends through ATL itself. Like everyone is interested in doing some or the other project, and it's just of pure curiosity that we have begun start doing projects. So one such project which my friends and I started in DPS Nacharam is this project called Farm Tech, and that has won Atal Tinkering Marathon 2017 in the agri-tech category. And so with that, we had like so many opportunities. We got to go to the boot camp to understand how the entrepreneurial side of a project works. How do we pitch? How do we learn about how do we develop a product? And this is also a place where we interacted with teams across India. So in the boot camp, we met a team from Kerala. And in a similar way, later on, we got to do a student internship program at IBM. And that's where I met Satyam, Jay, Rishikesh, and Sanket. And after that, we had like so many experiences. We also got to intern at Dell in for a student entrepreneurship program. So over there, especially Dell is like such a uh, it's a very all-rounded learning opportunity for me, because over there we actually got to know about technology. We got to work with the experts on our own products, and this is a period of time when my project FarmTech was has evolved so much that we had to change the whole product in like 3 days. And my team and I, like along with me, there are two other friends of mine, Manish and Advait, and we literally remember all three of us surviving on coffee
Okay.
the whole 3 days. We haven't slept. We were asking about the parts. We got the parts, then we started building it. So the whole 3 days was like, it was so good. And one thing to remember here is that it's not always about the work. It's also about the people you meet, the experiences they share with you, and the friendships and the bonds you make. And it's especially important in in this place is because not everyone you come across is a tinkerer. Not everyone you come across actually is very much interested into doing something for the world. But here, every other person is that, and so yeah, always be open, and be open to forming teams, having friends, and all of it.
Great. Thank you so much, Manikanta. And does anyone else have any fun anecdotes or any ATL, experiences that you would like to share before we move on to talking more about the student internship and entrepreneurship program that Manikanta also spoke about, wherein they just survived on coffee. So, anyone else wants to add, or should you move on?
Yeah, I like to add one. So, the story, how we came to know about Golfa Code is quite interesting. It's like it all started from a t-shirt. So, during the IBM internship in 2018, we were in the IBM offices. Like, we saw a couple of people wearing the first Golfa Code t-shirt. So,
Okay.
we all were very curious to know what is this call for code all about. Like in 2018, it was the first call for code challenge, and Project Owl had like just won the project, won the global award, and we were like very curious to know what it is, and like at that time we all were under 18, and the main one of the requirements was for the part of to participate. It's we had to be 18 plus. So we waited till we all turned 18. And in 2020, 2021, coincidentally SoftWater happened. And
Oh.
we thought of participating in Call for Code, and then we participated and we ended up in the Call for Code challenge.
Wow. That's true serendipity, right? You saw the t-shirt when you were in SIP, and then you guys also met around the same time. And then you had to wait and become adults to be able to participate in the challenge. And then, luckily you also came up with the solution. So that, brings me to the next question. So we've heard about how the idea of soft water had germinated. So it was because of one of the team members, Rishikesh, your mother, had fallen sick after consuming contaminated water. So can you tell us about the experience and what moved you or what led you to really, take up on this challenge and work with your friends, form a team, and really strive to find that solution to the problem?
Sure, yeah. As you said, it all started from a personal incident dated in the month of December of 2020. This incident that happened with my mother was she consumed a groundwater source that was contaminated, and it was an accidental consumption, which we got to know after 3 months of treatment, which is a long period if you go to see. Thankfully, the disease was cured, and then we also realized that it was because of that water, and then we could inform the authorities to look out for the water source. So all this process was very hectic, and needed a lot of processes to know about how to solve it. Not just for us, but even for the administrative body as well as the doctors who were trying to find what was the source of this disease. There were multiple of them, but after autopsy, they got to know it's because of contaminated water. So that's the moment when when we discussed amongst ourselves. We were all together since the SIP, due to our common interest and because of Tech Excel also. We had formed a team to have innovative ideas converted into products. With that motive, we formed Tech Excel. So during our discussions and meetings, we just approached this topic as to how can we solve this particular problem. So during this empathization and discussion, what we realized here was more of the problem and the problem definition. As to this problem is faced by every one of us. All of us today are unknowingly facing this problem, be it hair fall or any other situations that occur directly or indirectly through water. And that's when we also understood that purifiers are there already today in the world, and they are very accessible to. There are so many purifiers that are accessible to the poorest of the poorest the group of people, as well as the richest of the richest group of people. But the problem here is people are not educated or not having access to information that will enable them to decide which purifier to purchase, when to purchase, and do they really need to install it or not. Like in certain cases in Goa, when we did our community outreach program, we realized that many of them had RO, but in Goa, you don't actually need RO. So they are wasting a lot of water indirectly. So which is again a bad thing, and economic burden to them also, because water is at a cost. So all this led to the development of SoftWater with the main motive of a real-time and a forewarning system to regularly monitor water quality. Earlier, we started with groundwater, and now we are supporting all other sources of water, and informing the community and the users about the purification recommendations when the water quality may go bad, and also um, their water quality in real time in a simple and a more accessible approach by just summarizing the data into good, bad, and worse.
Right. Thank you, Rishikesh, for really, helping us visualize how you actually tackled the problem and what kind of personal experience. I mean, 3 months is a long time to, suffer and actually then get to know that it was because of contaminated water. So it just goes to show that how serious this problem can be if, if it is not addressed, and how that led you to actually go on and create this product, create this innovation in collaboration with your team members. So and building on what Sanket had mentioned earlier, like this was a coincidence that you had just created a prototype of SoftWater, and that is around the same time when the IBM call for code global challenge had been announced, around the same time. So I would like to know about your experience in the challenge. So Satyam, क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि आपका एक्सपीरियंस, आपकी टीम का एक्सपीरियंस कैसे रहा था एंड आईबीएम कॉल फॉर कोर ग्लोबल चैलेंज में? आई नो दैट देयर वर लैक्स ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स, सो वो पूरी जर्नी कैसी थी आपकी?
Yes, I'll definitely try to share my experience with the audience. So, एक डेटा जो हमने बाद में देखा वो ये था कि अराउंड 5 lakh डेवलपर्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड वर पार्टिसिपेटिंग फॉर दिस कंपटीशन, एंड उन 5 लाख डेवलपर्स में से हमारी टीम एक थी जो जीत कर आई थी कॉल फॉर कोड. So of course it was an overwhelming experience for all of us. If I share about the journey, so uh, as we told that हमको प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट के कुछ बातें थी जो पहले से हमको एक्सपीरियंस थी और जो हमने सीखी थी ड्यूरिंग आवर एटीएल प्रोजेक्ट्स. वो जो जितने भी हमारी लर्निंग्स थी वो बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल रही जब हम लोग कॉल फॉर कोड में अपना साफ वाटर प्रोटोटाइप डेवलप कर रहे थे. लाइक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें, ओके उसके आइडिएशन कैसे करा जाए, उसके बाद प्रोटोटाइपिंग कैसे किया जाए, टेस्टिंग कैसे करते हैं, पायलट रन एंड डिप्लॉयमेंट कैसे किया जाता है, ये सब चीज़ें अगर हम बिल्कुल ही स्टार्टिंग से ही ज़ीरो लेवल से स्टार्ट करते तो शायद साफ वाटर नंबर 1 नहीं बन पाता। बट हम जीत पाए क्योंकि एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है अटल इनोवेशन मिशन का कि उन्होंने हमको यंग एज में ही एक स्किल्स दी। उन स्किल्स हमारी बहुत हेल्प की है इस जर्नी में। एंड प्रॉब्लम्स हमें बहुत आई, हमने कम्युनिटी से हेल्प मांगी, मेंबर डेवलपिंग टाइप we were funding we found at that point of time we asked the community for the help, and there were some genuine support which was given to us by the community members. So another thing which I have learned is कि आप हेल्प किसी से मांगने जाएंगे तो दुनिया बैठी है हेल्प करने के लिए, जस्ट दैट वी हैव टू बी इंटरेस्टेड एंड हमको हमको बताना पड़ेगा दुनिया को कि यस हम एक कोई काम करना चाहते हैं, तो लोग भी आपकी हेल्प करने को तैयार हो जाते हैं। इसके अलावा जब हमको डिप्लॉयमेंट्स एंड टेस्टिंग्स भी करनी थी तो हम लोग साइट ढूंढ रहे थे, उस टाइम पर भी हमको बहुत लोगों ने मदद की। इनफैक्ट जब हम लोग एक छोटा सा कम्युनिटी आउटरीच प्रोग्राम भी हम चला रहे थे जहां हम अलग अलग लोगों से वाटर सैंपल मांगते थे और उनका उनका काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस करके देते थे। सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ अ टाइम आल्सो लॉट ऑफ पीपल फ्रॉम द कम्युनिटी केम अहेड एंड सप्लाइड अस विद द वाटर सैंपल्स। सो या ये सारे कुछ एक्सपीरियंसेस थे। एंड मैं भी थोड़ा पास्ट पे जाके अपने पुराने दिन रीलिव कर पाया while sharing this experience. So yes.
बहुत अच्छा लगा आपको सुन के सत्यम, और आप ऐसे बोल रहे हो कि आपने अपने पुराने एक्सपीरियंसेस रिलीव किए, बट आप तो अभी काफी छोटे, यू हैव अ वेरी लॉन्ग वे टू गो, एंड इट्स क्रेजी दैट एट सच अ यंग एज you guys have already achieved so much that even people well into their careers have not. But yeah, thank you for sharing that experience. And so now let's talk about the future. So Jay, my question is for you. What are your plans, like as SoftWater, as Tech Excel, right? After winning that grant has now opened a new dimension altogether, right? Now, where do you go next? What are you currently working on? How are you, improvising your product, and what plans do you have for future?
Yeah, so before answering that question, I have a counter question to you. So, do you know your water quality?
I mean, I use a filter and I am, trusting that device to work properly. I don't use RO. I use a generic water filter, So I hope that I've never tested it, but I'm assuming it's drinkable, it's potable.
Okay, so you don't know your water quality.
Yeah, yeah, that's the short way of putting it.
So that's where we come in, and basically what we want to do is scale soft water in such a way that it becomes synonymous with water quality. We want to measure whole world's water quality, and I'll put it in very simple sentence to make the invisible water quality visible. So that's our very large goal that we are trying to achieve through our small footsteps, and we are trying to scale to that level so we can make it happen someday. So that's our goal, and towards that goal, we are also working in like various products. Like we are working in soft water unit with chlorine sensor. We are also testing soft water in various domains like agriculture, public health distribution, and other things. I think we have also deployed 3 units of soft water in Hyderabad at HMWSSB. So we are moving to our larger goal to know the world's water quality and to move towards uncontaminated future.
Yeah, so just to add up what Jay said, currently we are also, after winning the Call for Code Global Challenge, we also participated in a couple of events that the Government of India organized. for the betterment of the people. One of them was the India Water Pitch Pilot Scale Challenge by Ministry of Urban Housing and Urban Affairs under Amrut 2.0. So we are amongst the top 76 startups who are selected as a technology partner with the government. Specifically, we are right now installing units, SoftWater units in the Hyderabad city under through HMWSSB, that is Hyderabad Metropolitan Sewerage and Water Board. And right now we have completed the first phase, which includes 3 units, and the next phase is going on, where we would have a public distribution network compliant SoftWater unit. And also these such activities that we are currently doing help us come closer to our main vision of making the invisible water quality visible. So we have couple of other verticals that we are currently working related to water, be it devices that would enable water quality measurement without the use of sensors or with minimal use of sensors, which allows more accessibility to our devices as well as more robustness of the devices without investing heavy on the sensors. And apart from that, just recently, SoftWater, I mean, TechXL was selected as the semi-finalist for the Harvard Innovation Labs President's Innovation Challenge. So it's just a 2 days ago news. So we will be there presenting and pitching for the next round for the final round also.
Wow, very big congratulations to the entire team for the for this achievement, and also for I mean, you've been adding a lot of feathers to your cap. So it did not stop with I think it started with the call for code challenge, but definitely it's a solution, that is very much needed, and I'm pretty sure that you will have many more such opportunities in the future. Now, we've spoken about all the good stuff and all the positive outcomes. Now, let's talk about the hard work, the struggles, the challenges that you had to face, behind the scenes. And for that, I would like Manikanta to, start the share your experience. And again, if anyone wants to add, please feel free to do so.
So yes, so when it comes to challenges, if we are into innovation, every day is like a new challenge, and every day, every problem needs a solution. So we have been focusing so much on like problem solving in that aspects. And as TechXL, like initially, we started around, I think, before COVID, before the second wave of COVID-19, and we don't have any financial resources with ourselves. So at that point of time, to fund our project, we have taken classes of students. We have taught students about programming, about innovation, about Scratch, and all of these. And all of that money has been kept through SoftWater, and we had to come out of it that way. And we have sustained ourselves for a long time during that session.
Wow, I must add that's truly entrepreneurial. I mean, you've used what you've learned in ATL, and then you are using that to, start your own ventures. That is pretty commendable. Yeah, please continue.
And in this way, challenges will be coming and going, and it's all about how we face them and how we view them, because every challenge के पीछे एक opportunity तो रहता ही है, and challenges are, sort of temporary in nature, as long as you take action. So always be ready for action. So yeah, team, would you like to add anything more?
I would
I think you have covered almost all of them.
Here I would intervene if it's okay.
Yes, sir. Please, Chintamani, sir. Sure.
So the most challenging thing, and which is the most appreciable thing, which somehow the boys have forgotten to mention, is the entire call for code journey, right from the state of ideation to the getting of the prize, to the award, the presentation, the preparing of the working model, was done during the peak COVID period. And none of us, even we three in Goa had met each other to develop the entire unit or to develop the entire product. Uh, we met together, we came as a team physically only after 2 months after the award was declared at Goa. So
Oh my gosh.
the entire journey, thanks to the digital technology and everything was discussed, argued, debated, fought out amongst ourselves on the digital channels, and that is how the entire unit was developed, manufactured. I mean, a prototype done, presented. For that matter, and one more thing, which again is something which is very interesting, is when the award was announced, the digital system at Rishikesh's place failed. We were,
Okay.
and he was like not aware what was happening. When they said congratulations, he said something different. I forgot what he said, and
Yeah.
that's how it was. So it was a very different thing. I mean, what we are trying to convey to all the people who are around today on the channel and would follow this channel is, we don't get bogged down by any sort of challenges. Like Mani also said, and you can imagine something happening. One person sitting in Hyderabad, another in Pune, one person in Delhi, we three of us in Goa, though we are otherwise within, say, a 5 kilometers radius, we couldn't meet because the stringent movement restriction limitations. But yes, even then, we could achieve something that the team achieved. And one more point is, this is the first Indian team to win this global IBM Call for Code Global Challenge, and possibly also the youngest team to do so. Because I was not part of the team as such, because there were only 5 allowed. Otherwise, I would have
Wow.
been the sport. But
This is amazing. I mean, the story, I can't imagine that all of you worked together remotely during peak pandemic without meeting, and you still managed to came up with a brilliant innovation. And that just goes to show the power of being able to tinker, make, and take the matter into your own hands. Like, instead of just sitting and suffering, taking that challenge and resolving that problem, moving away from being consumers of solutions to actually creators of solutions. So that is really commendable. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that whoever is watching the session now and even later, I'm pretty sure this will inspire them as well. I mean, if this could be done during pandemic, then it's much more, I wouldn't say easier, but it's much more possible for them to, start their tinkering journey now. It's not too late. It's not too, late to start the journey. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Chintamani sir. And this gives me a segue into the next question. So I wanted to ask about some fun anecdotes that you would like to share with us. And Chintamani sir pointed us to that. So, Rishikesh, your technical system had failed at the time of announcement of results. So, what was your response when they announced your name?
So what happened was I was using a Bluetooth headset because my audio, I was using my old laptop. Again, that laptop was almost to the death zone. So
Okay.
the speaker was not working. There was no proper power and all. And I had that laptop at that moment. And in that laptop, there was no audio system. So I had to use my Bluetooth headset. What had happened is when they were announcing the top 5, and up till top two, I could hear what who were the not even top two, even till top three, I could hear exactly who got the awards and all those things in the top three. But the moment then when they were announcing top two and top one, my connection to my Bluetooth headset was completely gone. And
Wow.
then suddenly my internet also came back, and then I see that we are only there. And he was telling something, and I thought that he's congratulating us. And I just said thank you very much. Rather, he was asking us for what was how are you feeling right now?
Okay. But yeah, thank you very much. Was still a safe answer, I would say. But yeah, I mean, that's a fun story, truly. And so, what was others' reaction? Like, you were remotely connected, right? The rest of you, were you able to reach Rishikesh?
So at that moment of time, actually, we thought that we wouldn't be winning the competition because, as we remember, like I think some top three are to be invited there or something. We read across somewhere. So we thought that, we are not in the top three. We must be in the fourth or fifth position. So that way, we have entered the, conference call. I mean, the video platform. And the moment they announced our name, we couldn't process anything. And I was listening to Rishikesh, and he was like, "Thank you," and I could hear the
Yeah.
whole auditorium laugh behind there in
Oh.
at the venue. So it is like that.
Yeah, in
I was
fact,
trying so
when
hard
the
to
top
suppress
five
my
was
laugh at
announced,
that.
yeah, sorry, Jay, you can go ahead.
Okay. I was trying very hard to suppress my laugh at the moment because Rishikesh like jumbled at the moment and I was like, what is he saying?
Yeah. So basically, it was like not to be digestible as Mani said, because the out of those 5 lakh developers, it's not just the individual developers or college students. There were even startups and companies. In fact, Persistent and TCS also participated last year.
Hmm.
The TCS team was there in the top 5. So
All
we
right.
thought that we are not there. So I just said
Infosys,
thank you
Infosys.
just because they must have announced that we are second.
So you competed with, the big companies and a lot of startups and a lot of, people who were already working in this area. So, I mean, I can only imagine how that moment must have felt. But yeah, these are some wonderful memories that you guys have, and I'm pretty sure this will inspire a lot of people who've joined us today. And that that makes me move to the next segment where we want to hear from you how the students, can really uh, say take advantage of opportunities that say an ATL has to provide, or competitions like ATL Marathon. So currently we are in a YouTube live session which is dedicated towards ATL Marathon. So when if a student would ask you why should I participate, so what would be your response? What would be your advice for them? And I would like each of you to answer this, and feel free to include your regional languages if if you would like to, because that would really help connect with the students from those regions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So here, when looking back, why you need to participate in the Atal Tinkering Marathon is that everywhere you can't actually meet a diversity of people around. So you know like there's this ante ఇప్పుడు if we go to some other state, or if we go to some other city, and if you see the people there, I was thinking like the class 11 Manikanta is thinking that, oh my god, అంటే ఇక్కడ జనాలు ఇలాగుంటారా, I mean, will people be like this? And or you could also be thinking like, ఓకే, చాలా మంది చాలా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ చాలా డిఫరెంట్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్స్ నుంచి ఆలోచిస్తున్నారు, లైక్ దే థింక్ ఫ్రమ్ అ డిఫరెంట్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. సో when you consider all of these aspects, you will get to know one thing, that you should never break connections. Like if you have a friend, maintain that friendship always. And especially when it comes to Atal Tinkering Marathon, you innovate a lot, you meet many people, with similar capabilities, and you know they will be helpful to you also as a network. And I'm in BBA, but a lot of things which are being taught to me have already been taught in SIP, SEP, the boot camp and all, when it comes to ventures, or when it comes to growing a company and all of it. So you have all of these around, but one thing you have to remember is that there's this saying in Telugu, ఎదిగే కొద్దీ ఒడగాలి అని. So the more you grow, the more you need to sort of respect people, the more you need to bow down and stay humble and remain humble. So that's the thing I would say. Why
Thank
everyone
you.
should participate. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manikanta. And if I were to summarize, then so you not only focused on participation in such events, such challenges, but also retaining those networks, the connections, the teamwork, that goes into such competitions are in a way connections that you form for your lifetime, and it's not restricted to the 3 or 6 months that work together. So thank you for sharing that. Satyam, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you. So, 2 points which I will share, kind of an advice, come the suggestions that why students should come ahead and participate in Tinkering Marathon. नंबर वन कि अटल इनोवेशन मिशन के द्वारा कोई भी प्रोग्राम चलाया जाए, वॉट एवर चैलेंजेस आर देयर, स्पेस चैलेंजेस एंड द मेगा चैलेंज टिंकरिंग मैराथन, इसमें कोई एक बार चला गया तो वो एंटरप्रेन्योर बन के ही निकलता है, या फिर नहीं तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप माइंडसेट लेके निकलता है। मेरे को ने किसी ने एक बात कही थी बहुत टाइम पहले, और जो कि मैं चाहूँगा आज सबको आगे भी कैरी फॉरवर्ड करना चाहूँगा कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप सीखने में ना कोई बुराई नहीं है। अगर अच्छा एम्प्लॉयर नहीं बन पाए ना तो अच्छे एम्प्लॉय बन ही जाएँगे। इसका मतलब ये है कि
बहुत बढ़िया बात की है आपने।
प्रॉब्लम को कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करना है, उसके लिए क्या इनोवेशन होनी चाहिए, वो तो सभी हैकाथॉन्स में आपको देखने को मिलेगा। बट एक स्टेप आगे जाके जो अटल टिंकरिंग मैराथन के हैकाथॉन्स में देखने को मिलता है वो ये, जो आपने इनोवेशन बनाया है अब उसको मार्केट कैसे किया जाए, उसको एज़ अ स्टार्टअप कैसे लिया जाए। तो ये एक एज देता है स्टूडेंट्स को जब वो पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं अटल टिंकरिंग मैराथन में, बिकॉज़ एक एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने की दिशा में वो अपने बेबी स्टेप्स लेते हैं। And second advice which I'll and the suggestion which I'm going to share is कि this gives you the opportunity to work with diverse group of people. कभी कभी ना मैंने भी ये सफ़र किया है एंड देखा भी है कि जब हम कोई प्रोडक्ट के या फिर कोई आइडिया के बारे में काम करने लगते हैं ना, वी गेट सो मच इनटू टेक दैट एवरी केवल टेक वाली चीज़ें ही दिमाग में चलती हैं, और आसपास लोग भी हम लोग ऐसे चुन लेते हैं जो कि केवल टेक से ही संबंधित हो। ओके, बट ज़रूरी है कि हमारी टीम में या फिर हम नॉन टेक्निकल लोगों से भी डाइवर्स डाइवर्स तरीके के लोगों से उनके सजेशंस लें, उनके इनपुट लें। टिंकरिंग मैराथन एक मैं मानता हूँ एक आई थिंक अकेला मैराथन होगा जिसमें कोई भी स्ट्रीम तो बीट ह्यूमैनिटीज, कॉमर्स, साइंस काम कर सकते, वो आके एक साथ करते हैं। इनफैक्ट my school time we had I science, my other member from the commerce background and his background respectively, जब लोग आते हैं तो सबका अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव होता है एक प्रॉब्लम को देखने का, and at the end of the day it helps you to
Thank you so much, Satyam. And if I were to summarize what you just said, it is about how, different people bring different perspectives to the table and how that helps you really look at the problem in a multifaceted view and, accordingly create solutions. So thank you for that. Now I would request Jay to share his advice for the students who joined us.
Yeah,
And Jay,
so
you are from Pune, right? So I would expect some Marathi.
yeah, definitely. So I think students should participate in ATL marathon or like any other ATL activities because you learn a lot of things in such programs that are outside, very outside of the box, that are outside of textbooks and all. And my parents and like many people used to say to me that look, पुस्तकाच्या बाहेर बघ. Uh, That loosely means like look outside of textbook, look outside of books, go out in the world, try to see how the things are happening and learn from experiences, learn from how the things are working. Just think about how you can make it better. So that's something you get a lot of chance to do that in ATL activities, competitions. It's all about like practical hands-on knowledge, and you're equipped with all the tools, resources necessary to make it happen, to go out and build something that you always wanted to build, but you couldn't because lack of money, lack of resources. There is no one to advise or things like that. So that's a very compelling reason to go out and participate in ATL activities and ATL marathon, I feel.
Thank you so much for that, Jay. And thank you for including the quote, which makes a lot of sense. You need to get your head out of textbooks and actually work with equipment, do hands-on learning and actually create something. So thank you for that. Now let's move to Goa. So we have Rishikesh and Sanket. So your advice.
Yeah, so I won't give any advice as such because there have been a lot of good things that my team has already said, and I don't have any points right now. But I'll just highlight three perks. Number one is the indirect or unknown perk. Number two is the short-term perk, and number three, of course, is the long-term perk. The unintended and the unknown and the indirect perk is, of course, today, unknowingly or knowingly, we formed a team. And I mean, today I have a pretty good pretty good. I'm with my team who are having a lot of skill sets, as well as they help me around when I go wrong with things where I fall short and all. In fact, our hardware team and the software team also help us a lot in building the product and all. So these are the unknown and the indirect perks that can help or may not help, but it's something that may, I mean, it's good to have. The long-term perk, of course, like as Satyam, Mani, and Jay said, you get network, you get the learnings, you learn lot of skills like design thinking, you experience the corporate world and all through SIP, SCP and all, which helps you again to again in your long-term journey as either an employer or even an employee and other things. I mean, you are one step ahead of your other members in your school and all. And the short-term perks, which would make more sense to the students right now, as you guys are all young, that is, you get to travel, you get to meet a lot of people, lot of influential people. Like I could recollect Satyam and myself got an opportunity to meet the president of Russia during our Indo-Russia summit. That was again co-organized by Niti Aayog, and a lot of other perks that also come, like for example, our counter team had even visited Singapore for an event through Niti Aayog after the marathon. So all this traveling and all short-term perks are there. And not just this, for for a student the short-term perks would more matter now, but when you grow up you will realize that the long-term and the indirect perk is much more greater than the short-term perk. But all this three sets of work will only come once you participate, or once you get into a challenge and meet people and make a product or a project, or at least get into the journey of making the project. So no advice from myself, but just I have highlighted the perk. I think that should help you make a decision.
You said no advice, and I think that was quite insightful, and I mean, I still have tough time wrapping around my head, for the fact that you are still in college. So that was very insightful and a very well structured response, the short term and long term perks. Thank you for that, Rishikesh. Then finally, Sanket, your inputs.
Yeah, so like I would consider like ATL Marathon is like the flagship hackathon of India. So like it's like the best of the best hackathons which any person any student in India can participate. And like ATL Marathon is not just a competition; it's like a journey, like starting from the problem to the solution, and like then developing into a product, and like and then uh, deploying your product and creating impact in people's lives. So like it if you like even in if you even get a chance to be in the top 200 or in the top 100, you get a lot of support from Niti Aayog and AIM. So like there's a lot of hand holding, and like you get to interact with mentors, industry experts, entrepreneurs, and like as Rishikesh and Satyam got a chance to meet the president of Russia. It's like there are a lot of perks, and like yeah.
Thank you so much, Sanket, for that. Now I would like to move on to Chintamani sir. Sir, what advice do you have for parents and teachers, and how can we encourage everyone to really make use of this opportunity? Because this is different from academics, right? So why do you think, or what do you think would inspire teachers and parents and mentors to really push and encourage students to apply and participate?
Yeah, actually, these boys have kept nothing for me to talk about. They, they're out, and that is the point that I would rather highlight here. If for all the teachers and parents who are on this live show or who would be watching the video, the YouTube later on. See, today these are the boys. Like I can say both. More about Rishikesh and Sanket because I have been with them right from the initial stages of ATL. And as you had very rightly pointed out, we were the first ATL among the first 257 ATL. And yeah, a little diversion. And that was the time when everybody was actually, if you were to see, grouping around. Niti Aayog, AIM team also was not really very sure what is the next step, how to go about it. There were quite a few things that was happening around, and a lot of what you call teething issues were there. But we came out of all of that. I mean, that was one more aspect of it, and I mean, like thanks to the team of Niti Aayog then, and everybody was ready to listen, adapt, and change. And today, all these students of today are very, very lucky that you already have got fixed set of things happening. You are getting so many seminars, webinars, and things like that, training sessions. Even before the ATL marathons, you are getting a chance to prepare for the ATL marathon. So many programs are being conducted as to how you should participate, what should be how you should present. But coming back to the point, both the boys were what you call camera shy. Sanket was actually, and he was a very reticent type of a boy who would never come out and speak. Today, when we go to the school, to our own Hedgewar High School, and we take sessions for the students. Just about a week back, we were there and we had a full session from the 6th standard to the 10th standard batch, 9th standard students. And when we were talking about why you should participate in marathon, the same topic that actually we are doing, we were trying to put it across to our students there. And that is where, so that has been the difference. And what I was wanting to say is all these exposure, which the entire ATL marathon gives a student, because you participate in the marathon. And if you work really hard on it, you come out with a right solution, I mean, a good problem statement and a good solution, you are among the top 100, and then the support is phenomenal. I mean, like I mean, this is for the parents and the teachers. Like even for the teachers, you would, if you are the team mentor of the team, what happens is you are privy to the IBM training sessions, you are privy to the IBM internship programs, to the Adobe programs, to the Dell programs. That itself adds so much to your experience, to your knowledge. Plus, in your appraisals, especially in the private schools, the certification that comes from IBM, from Dell, from Adobe, and the other organizations that Niti Aayog, and they're all top organizations, internationally, nationally known organizations. That gives that itself is a big impetus for you to support your teams, give them, mentor them, guide them around. Similarly, parents, I would say, I would share an experience in the initial stages, how difficult it was for us to convince the parents that their child should participate and get into tinkering. As Vishnu Madam had said earlier, Vishnu Priya Ma'am had said earlier, that mindset or the idea of tinkering itself was absent in the schools. I mean, people were not even. So one incident where what happened was we had an open session that we had exhibited all the projects that our ATL teams had done in the school on 26th of January in 2018. That was after the Republic Day celebration, and then there was an open house, so all the parents and students would be around. So we had organized the exhibition of all the projects, and I was trying in the room in our ATL lab. I was explaining to a group of parents how a 3D printer works, or what is a 3D printer, because see that those were the days. Today, possibly the schools have 2, 3, 4 3D printers. But those days, people were not even aware what a 3D printer was, including myself. So, and while I was explaining, suddenly I could see a few parents coming around into the ATL room, in that particular ATL room. And, मुझे एकदम इसमें कहूँ तो मुझे तो जैसे घेर लिया था उन्होंने, वो सब parents ने, there were 5 or 7 or 8 of them. And when I saw the student, I mean, their children, their kids along with them, I said, यार ये गड़बड़ है. So then they started complaining, नहीं सर आप क्या ये ATL आपकी बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे का पूरा ध्यान उसी में रह रहा है, आजकल उनके मार्क्स कम हो रहे हैं, परसेंटेज कम हो रहे हैं. तो one of them said no, he was getting 98 and he had got 98 in math last time, this time he got 96.
Oh my God.
ये हुआ था. Then somebody I said come on यार 98 96 क्या कौन सी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम. तो बोले नहीं. Then one of the ladies, mothers started saying no they sir आपके चलते हुए ना वो दिन भर वो ATL के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं. Like yesterday we were traveling at that one junction, somebody crossed, I mean he overshot the signal and we almost banged him on the bike. He was on the bike and we were in a 4-wheeler. And my son immediately came away saying कि नहीं कल मेरे को ATL में जाना है चिंतामणि.
Wow.
मतलब
It made a solution for that.
तो मैंने उनको बोला मैडम आप बताइए कि what was wrong. See, his mindset had changed. You facing this problem, you and I, we have been facing this problem for years together. What we have been always doing so far is either cursing him left, right, center and proceeding, but not of finding out a solution. And this is what ATL, I mean, that was the journey. And today, like we find it difficult not to keep students from coming into ATL. The parents are also supportive. Things have changed dramatically. But yes, so, and the entire, one of the team members already said that कि वो पूरा thinking process change कर देता है ATL, जहाँ पर yes, your mindset is for problem solving, your students' mindset, and benefit of course is in the long run. आज देखिए आप हमारी ये पूरे 6-5 टीम मेंबर्स हैं, मेरे बच्चे ही है ये तो today I can proudly say that they are not yet graduates, but we have 4 people working with us who are engineering graduates. So today हमने employment generate कर रहे हैं. We are not a burden on the government or this country that हमको नौकरी दो. हम नौकरियां दे रहे हैं. And this is what would help. I mean, see, this is what I would like to tell the parents more. See, the technology, the exposure which your child is going to get through ATL, and especially with ATL Marathon more. Of course, if you have to go to the ATL Marathon, you have to go through the entire ATL lab system also. See, your child would be prepared for the future. The technology that we are going through, we learn robotics, 3D printing, etc., etc. I mean that AI and machine learning and artificial intelligence are the what you call the future technologies. एंड अगर आपका बेटा और या आपकी बेटी 5th-6th स्टैंडर्ड से ये सब सीख रही है, उनको जो एक्सपोजर मिल रहा है, पिचिंग करने का एक्सपोजर मिल रहा है, 9th स्टूडेंट, तो वो आगे चल के उनको इतना हेल्प करने वाला है, वेदर ही गोज फॉर ही और शी बिकम्स एन इंजीनियर और नॉट शी बिकम्स वॉट एवर फील्ड शी गोज, whether she goes for employment or as an entrepreneur, that's going to, and this is why you should, I mean, encourage your child to be a part of the ATL ecosystem, be a part of the ATL marathon and all the other competitions that ATL, you know, the handholding is tremendous. I mean, I feel envious of all these people. उस जमाने में तब जब थे मैं इस स्कूल से मैं right from my son was a part of the school. And उस समय से हम साइंस प्रोजेक्ट्स करते थे, वहां पर इतनी मुश्किलें होती थी हमको नहीं थी, अभी तो सब अवेलेबल है. Plus the people that, as Rishikesh was lucky, I mean, was the part of a team which went to Russia with in that serious team, where with the Russian students, and this is again, parents, please listen, with the Russian students and the Indian team, they worked together in a period of 15 days or 20 days. I get a little confused. They developed a prototype which they presented to President Putin.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, see, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps even now when I'm talking about it. Our school, one of our project was selected in the 2017 marathon when it was selected. In 2018, the Prime Minister of India spoke to our students on a video call. Right. तो उस समय हमको तो आदत हो गई थी डिजिटल इसकी. In 2018 June, the Prime Minister addressed the team of our students and an entire school team, so because we were part of the ATL Marathon winner. So ये सब जो, these are all, as Rishi put it very nicely, for what you call the direct, indirect, future. So these are all these things. So I would sincerely request, I mean, it's a plea, an appeal that you should encourage, don't discourage, and understand one thing: if your child gets into the mindset of solving a problem, the regular academic are very simple, because then the child is in a mindset to understand the concept and solve it. He doesn't have to ratta marao, he doesn't have to rote and go and put it. So that's a very big thing for the teachers. Yes, the exposure that you would be getting. I mean, I today am not a teacher in the school. I'm a member of the management, but I have been lucky to, I mean, just thanks to these boys also and all the other activities that we are doing, we have been interacting with, I mean, the best of quite a lot of people around, entrepreneurs who have been successful. Now today we have interacted. We just walk into, we have met possibly the CM of Goa almost 4 times in the entire journey so far. So I mean, all those minutes, you get an approach to the ministers. I mean, that is one more thing which you can get. So lots of things. It's all plus and plus. I can continue on and on. Sure. But
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, you've put it so well. I mean, you've covered so many things that, we keep talking about. I mean, the fact that the initiative is more about a mindset change, and the example that you gave about the traffic signal incident, and, the how can we address parents' anxieties when it comes to, spending more time in the lab instead of, focusing on academics, but how this is really an investment into the future, and how, this is about, transforming from being a generation of job seekers to job providers, etc. I mean, you've covered it really well, and I mean, you said that you did not have much to add, but you've really captured the core of the heart of the program. So thank you so much for sharing your insights.
My pleasure. Our pleasure, rather, for that matter.
Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all of you, for joining us today. And before we end, I have a very exciting announcement for all the people who've joined us and who will be watching the session later. So this conversation was with our ATL alumni students, right? So in order to, take this conversation forward and in order to create a community of ATL alumni students, we have created a closed group on LinkedIn, which will serve as a platform for students who have graduated out of ATL schools to be in touch, to network, to really share their experiences, opportunities, success stories, etc. in a close knit group. So for that, after this session, we will be sharing a Google form, a registration form for ATL alumni students to register for the group, and it is a select invite only mechanism that we will be following. So the form has simple details as to your your school information, your ATL code, and whatever you are currently studying, along with your LinkedIn profile. And once you fill the registration form, within 2 days, you will get access to the group. You will get the link that you have to join. So I'm pretty sure that, after the session ends, the SoftWater team is going to join the group. And please spread the word amongst your school classmates, batchmates, your other ATL schools that you had worked with, and or you are aware of. So we really want to, like sir had mentioned, right, the fruits of this initiative is not something that you will see overnight. It takes years to really look at the benefits. So we want to stay in touch with the alumni and see what they are up to, and also see what kind of help or support that you would need from our end, from Atal Innovation Mission, to really, take your entrepreneurship, your startup journey forward. So please keep an eye out on the AIM social media handles. We will be sharing the links, the link on it, and please register and spread the word. So with that, I thank all the SoftWater Excel team members for joining us today. I thank Chintamani sir, Satyam, Manikanta, Sanket, Rishikesh, Jay. Thank you so much for joining. It was a very fun conversation and something very different to the usual kind of sessions that we do. And thanks for sparing time and speaking with us. And we hope to invite you again sometime in the future and learn more about the new kinds of achievements you would have had by then. So with that, I thank you everyone for joining. And I urge all the viewers, all the schools who are watching this to please, please, please participate in the ATL Marathon. This year, the theme of the challenge is India's G20 presidency. And there are a lot of exciting opportunities that await the top winners of the marathon of this edition. So with that, let's call it a wrap, and we will see you again next week with another set of exciting sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Yes.